Facebook leads. They don't pick up the phone. They don't reply to text messages. They don't remember requesting the information. They're not interested after they just requested it. What the hell is wrong with these leads? Greetings and salutations, it's David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare, and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And of course, make sure you subscribe and like this video if you happen to enjoy the content. So the purpose of this video, of course, is to give you my opinion, if you haven't quite understood it after the opening there, on the current state of purchasing, and we're going to differentiate this a little bit further, purchasing Facebook leads, and what I think about it in reference to purchasing leads for things like final expense leads. So bottom line, here is my thoughts on buying final expense Facebook leads from the vast majority of vendors that sell them. Guess what? They suck. I don't know what it is with these Facebook leads now. It seems that all of these vendors out there are watering down the lead copies. They take away the references, the life insurance. They talk about inserting free benefits all over the place. They change the dynamics of the leads. And so now that when you call on a lead for Facebook, whether it's over the phone or whether it's face-to-face, the quality of that interaction you get is way, way less than what it used to be even a year ago, 2, certainly 3 years ago. So why is this the case now? Why is it so bad to buy Facebook final expense leads where several years ago it wasn't? Well, there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, there's a ton more agents now that have been recruited into this business that exclusively use digital leads, and Facebook being the primary source. And when you have a lot of agents running around using one singular medium for leads, you're just bidding up the supply of leads, which cause prices to go up. The other factor is to combat the price increases. What a lot of these vendors have started to do is they've lowered the intent out of the leads by watering down the copy to make it less specific in order to keep the price ranges low enough for them to operate at a profit. And on some level, I don't really blame them. I mean, they're running a business, right? They're selling leads to people. And they got to do it at a price that's competitive with a bunch of different vendors that are out there. And one of the most common ways to do that is to water down the quality of the leads. And that speaks to a higher point too. I mean, how often have you actually seen what your Facebook final expense lead vendor actually says in the ad copy? Yeah, they show you some landing page, but who says they didn't change it? Who says the lead that they're using has a completely different copy setup? You literally have no control over what the lead says and how it's delivered to the prospects, and you can only hope on a prayer that this thing will actually turn out to be a somewhat higher intent lead that's of decent quality. And all of this we could have dealt with and have dealt with for many years, but it's gotten to a tipping point that most of the vendors out there that sell Facebook leads are terrible. You don't know what they say. There's no transparency in the lead piece. And the quality of what you're getting back is just diminishing by the month. You have less people picking up the phone. You have less people responding to text messages, and you have more people claiming they never filled it out, or you have more people who just simply don't respond and say that they're not interested. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that Facebook marketing is dead. By no stretch of the imagination am I saying that. But what I'm saying is that the avenue, I think, for agents to be successful exclusively using Facebook, buying leads from vendors, the door is closing. There's only a handful of vendors that are halfway decent. And the only way I think for the foreseeable future to make this something that's a little bit more lucrative is to actually do Facebook marketing leads yourself. Here's why. Part of the reason the issues are with Facebook leads is that we don't know what the leads are saying. In combination with the higher competition, it's bidding prices on average up to the point now where it's, I think, uneconomical to buy Facebook leads, especially for telesales, how much garbage they are for the price that they are. And then you might as well just get direct mail leads if you're going to pay $25 plus for a Facebook face-to-face lead. You're just going to actually spend less money with direct mail if you consider drive time, if you consider the amount of people you can actually get in front of. So it's just more economical to go to direct mail. But if you are insistent on staying in Facebook, then you have to do it yourself, because the problem is essentially the marketers. It's the people who put together this crap we call a lead. You got to cut them out and do it yourself if you're intent on staying in the business. And if you can cut out the middleman, what you're probably going to find, if you're trained right, if you know how to market, if you manage a campaign well, that you can cut your cost significantly. There are many programs out there that will teach you how to do your own marketing, that will teach you how to manage your own campaigns and what variables to manage it to not only get a lower price, but a higher intent lead on Facebook. And all the while dropping your lead costs many times in many places, I've heard with agents doing it, below $10 a lead, which that's a lot better than $20 for a telesales lead or even $20, $25 plus for a face-to-face Facebook final expense lead. So what are some vendors I recommend for a do-it-yourself Facebook final expense marketing campaign? I have two in particular that I think do a fantastic job. And you got to be careful about this because there might be some that are on my channel that advertise here that I can't control, that charge outrageous price for crap that you wouldn't believe. The first one is a gentleman that I did a video with named Bobby Villanueva. He is out of San Antonio, great marketing guy, charges a very low price for his Facebook final expense marketing strategy, so low that I told him he's undercutting himself, but it's great content. It helps tremendously and it works very well. I have agents that actually use it. You can go look for a video in the description box, or we may just play a B-roll of it, where if you put in the YouTube, put in DeFord and $2.50, and you'll get to see the video, and that'll explain more of it. The second program I like is with my partnership with Josh Jones at Agent Autopilot. He sells a Facebook marketing course. He actually used to be one of the guys that marketed for agents and created leads for them to buy. But he's created a system based off of what he's learned managing many campaigns over the years. And he's also bought all the other guys' content and implemented into the system at a very affordable price relative to some of these other outrageously priced programs. I would pick one or the other to look at. I do have an affiliate relationship with the second program, but not with the first. But truly, you could do well with the first one or the second one. I would advise you, if you're interested in this, to decide which one works best for you. Interview both, research both, pick the one that works best. And that's where I would go if I were interested in doing the do-it-yourself strategy with Facebook final expense leads. The last word I have on do-it-yourself final expense Facebook leads is this. This may not be a good strategy for you. If you're not a techie, if you're not comfortable with managing a process of marketing, this probably isn't a good idea to partake in. I've always been kind of hesitant, especially with newer agents, recommending Facebook's marketing, and they've had no experience with it, simply because while you're learning how to market on Facebook, you're going to learn how to sell final expense, right? And those are two distinct skill sets that if you water down your focus between both, I'm just a bit worried that you're not going to get really good results out of either. So it's something that I'm okay with. If you're comfortable navigating around, you can follow video tutorials, you can manage it, and you understand you're not getting into a George Foreman set it and forget it solution. You got to manage and tweak these campaigns for life if you're going to do Facebook, if you want to get results out of it. And there's just no way around that. But if you can handle that, it's a great way to get cheap leads. That makes all of the BS that you've got to deal with Facebook leads, the non-pickups, the non-answers, etc., a lot more palatable. When you're paying up to 75% less for the leads, it's a lot easier to deal with that stuff, right? Because if $1,000 only buys, let's say, 50 leads, and now $1,000 buys 100 leads, well, that's double the opportunity. And that's hopefully double the sales. And it makes it a lot easier to deal with all the stuff that's inherent with Facebook leads when you've got a ton of people to talk to. And again, the goal in this business is what? To be so overwhelmed that you have too many people to see. There's really nothing that's going to give you a better chance of success than being drowned in a sea of leads. That's what I want my agents to be. And thanks so much, guys, for listening. I hope you enjoyed this training on the state of Facebook final expense leads in 2021. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. You're always welcome to. Feel free to click the links above below to learn more about how working in DeFord Insurance Group works if you're interested in reviewing it. And as always, thank you for watching. See you next time.